yep, this one's got my CD writer in it, and this one's got the other 3 components. No, I think I should probably shoot this from a better spot. Yeah. Is this a better position?
Mm-hmm.
Much better.
So whenever you're ready, feel free to start.
Well, one thing I want to do is I want to open up these boxes. Except I want to get rid of these that I hid back there, so they're kind of out of the sight. But let's see. Not sure which one of these is the top. Given the lettering being like that, I would have to assume this is the top. What?
I'm going to get rid of this.
Yeah.
Ring, you know. Don't want to miss it. I was waiting for Mike to go to the bathroom.
We're never gonna. I'm telling you, it's an order. We can't look in the box.
If he goes in the bathroom, I'll be like,
I'll stop you. The mystery must be preserved. And I'm like, no!
there's probably nothing interesting in there.
Yeah, no, that's why we don't know.
Figures I end up provoking hairy monsters. Back at recording again?
I'm still recording.
Oh, it's unbroken then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, now comes the time I open these boxes up. Gotta get rid of this. Huh, what do you know? No packing peanuts. How exciting. This is my new motherboard. Good close-up.
Mm-hmm.
This is the RAM I'm temporarily using. I'll be getting 2166 afterwards. But since I ran out of funds, you know. But yep, I had to get new RAM because the Core i7 processor is incompatible with it. With the DDR2 that I currently had, so had no choice but to replace this. And this, oh wow. This is one of the most powerful processors that I can otherwise get. It's also got a good price overall. And these are the various specs and decals and other things like this. The i7 2600K. The K is for that the core is completely unlocked, so I can overclock it sometime later in the future. 3.4 gigahertz. That's a little bit faster than the one I got now. It's only 10% faster. But I've seen reports of this processor getting 50% faster than this. 5 gigahertz. I'm probably not going to go up that extreme, at least not until the very, very end. I'd have to get some really dedicated cooling system for that or something. But either way, I'm probably only go to like 4 or something. But either way, it's got 8 megabytes cache, that's probably level 3 or something. The LGA 1155 is the socket type, so I had to make sure I had a motherboard that was compatible with that. 95W for 95 watts. That's the supposed power input. And it's hard to believe that something so tiny can cost $1,000. This one's only 300. This thing is like a square inch, and it's only barely even 1/8 of an inch high, and I don't even think it's that high. Of course, the box is rather big because of one thing. There's a fan in there too. Made in Malaysia. You never know where they're going to be coming from. So, that's basically all the basics for that. But that's not the only thing I got. This should be my CD writer. I had to get a replacement because my current one was IDE based and my motherboard has no support at all for IDE, and thus I had no choice but to get a SATA based CD writer. Not a Blu-ray writer because those are rather expensive, plus I really don't have much need for Blu-ray anyway. Although I could, if I did run backup, I can fit all my backup on a Blu-ray disc twice over almost. So but yep, I had to order two separate things. Well, in this case, I just didn't think about the CD writer thing, but when I looked at the motherboard specs, I noticed that there was no support for IDE, so I had no choice but to change that. And thus, the next day, I ended up ordering this. And yep, this is a CD writer. But it can also read circles too. Alright, excessive tape. Alright, where is it ended? Somebody went berserk on the tape, I can see that. Ends over here somewhere. Oh man, where is the end of this at? This is ridiculous. Can't find that. I'll have to figure out another way around it. Stubborn. This part here is the back side of the CD writer, something you probably don't see very often. The front side you should be extremely familiar with if you work around computers at all. It's got your standard open button and all that other stuff. So, now I just need to install all those components. You better stay there. There we go. That's a lot more stable. That's what I need. Stability. This I need to move. I need to move a lot of stuff out of the way, so I have room. My box of rocks needs to get moved. Also got to watch the static generation and stuff like that too. Because I just need something metallic that I can discharge to before I even bother messing with my computer much. Okay. I wonder what's screwed up with this one. It's upside down. Junk, junk, junk. Sell, sell, sell. But a lot of this stuff I haven't even opened in a very, very long time. Okay, pretty stable. So, let's see. Guess the first thing I need to do is disconnect everything. Absolutely everything. Yeah. This is the video card port. This is what my monitor gets connected to. Keyboard, mouse. Of course, now I no longer need this. So I'll just put this in the temp bin. That's going to be the power, and I'll need, the sound for my sound card. And one thing I'm going to need is a screwdriver. No, this is not the right kind. It's too big. Much too big. I don't even know what I'm doing with it either. So I'm going to have to go get a fine, small screwdriver. I'll be back. I have to get a screwdriver. But I also don't want it on the floor or drop or anything like that. But yep, I got a regular screwdriver and I got a Phillips screwdriver. One's a little longer than the others, but that should otherwise be good. USB cable. These can go on the floor without problems. USB cables. Although some of these I don't even know what they go to. One of them's likely for the printer. I'll have to mark these things. Of course, if that one goes to the printer, then I don't know what that one goes to. Must be my external hard drive. This is either my... No, it's not that thing. It's gotta be my MP3 player one then. USB. Monitor. This I won't need until winter, so I can otherwise put this away. I need space over here. Got a lot of screws. Adaptic. I wonder what this one goes to. Get that out of the way. Get these pennies out of the way. There's a dust box over here. It's because I rarely do anything about it. Oh. Jumper cables. Little jumpers. Yeah, they're so tiny.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what jumpers are. Let's see. I want to put these in a spot where I can easily notice them. This bulky thing. For this, I don't need to do anything special, because these I could just do with my own fingers. Oh, yes. This is the inside of a computer. Is that a 120 or 90? Touch the power supply so I can ground myself. Of course, it's still on. Okay, let's see. Yeah, what does that go to? Yeah, okay, that's my CD writer. Okay, that's my RAM that'll eventually sell so I can make up for some of the money. There's both of my hard drives. That's my video card, and that's the dedicated fan I ended up getting. Of course, that's an LGA 775 fan. I don't think the 1155 is compatible. So, what I need to do is I need to disconnect essentially everything in here. Essentially everything. And let's see. There's a mounting screw there. Where did I put those screwdrivers?
Shouldn't it be unplugged first?
No, I've
From the
done...
wall?
Yeah, well, I need grounding. That's a must. Let's see. So far, I've only touched the power supply, but where did I put the screwdrivers? That's interesting. Oh. Keep these over here where I can see them.
It's unavoidable.
Because you just move inside the move and just boom shadow.
Because where we're shooting, the light is hitting the wall and I'm catching the wall. And it's unavoidable.
I don't know if you're cool with that, but I'm just letting you know now.
Okay, well, now it's unplugged. Okay, I strongly doubt I'll have to dismount the power supply at least, but let's see. Yep, it's kind of what I thought. I need to unscrew these mounting screws. If I can get the screwdriver in here. Whoa. Oh, still need to go more. This. It's not the time for bad accuracy. Is this thing even coming out? Am I even going the right way? Try the other direction, see what happens. Weird. Something's screwy here. So much better with the on the floor though. I'm much more efficient on the floor than I am standing up on a table. Maybe it just pushes up? I don't know what's going on here. Seems like it's coming, but it's unusually slow. I have a feeling I got the wrong size screwdriver. I'm gonna try one of these just for the fun of it. Yeah, this one's working better. Why isn't it coming up? Nothing's changing. Something's weird here. I need to do this on the floor. I can't stand doing it up like this. I have much better coordination on the floor. And a lot better. I'm also far more comfortable too. Because I can also use my feet like this to ground myself constantly. Silly, but it works. Fine, I'll reverse and see what happens. Okay, I see. Let's see. And now it finally decides to come out. Okay, it's supposedly ready. That was a stubborn screw. Put that up here so I don't lose them. The one for my sound card, well, couldn't get it in there because it wouldn't go down all the way for some odd reason. So let's see. Trying to think here. Those can stay, so I don't have to mess with those. But these have to come out, and I have a static shielded bag over here somewhere. Right here. This I'm going to have to discard elsewhere for now. Let's see here. Okay. Alright, what are you caught on now? Oh, I see. Or, is there a locking mechanism on this thing? So why are you stuck? Can't be caught in the wire, because I don't see any wires that it could be caught on. I don't get it. So I'm going to have to move. Guess I'm going to move my sound card instead. Yep, this is what a sound card looks like. And if this is the front of the sound card. Okay, put this on my static shielded bag. Now, to return to wrestling with this thing. Figure out why it's stuck. Comes out there just fine, so what's going on? I don't see anything it could be locked onto. Okay, well, I got another idea. This thing is one stubborn video card, I'll tell you. Okay. anchor that back down again. Now search for some kind of locking mechanism. I don't really see any. It's that part there on the bottom that looks suspicious, but I don't think that is the culprit. No, that ain't working either. I can't get into that. If I can't get this thing dislodged, can't see into there. Stubborn, isn't it? It's stuck. I can't get it unstuck. And I don't want to break it either.
Is it connected to something?
I don't know. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for, is a locking mechanism. I didn't see any. Yeah. This is my video card. Of course, this also has a heatsink and fan. Yeah, I know it's a bit outdated, but I don't play video games on my computer much. Of course, there's my TV tuner and stuff like that, but that uses a separate system for that. And thus, I really have no need for a high-end video card. And this is what the back side of it looks like. Tag is on there, or just identifiers and things like that. Of course, this is the back connector that you might be somewhat familiar with. And this is the part that connects to the motherboard. Of course, this is the PCI Express times 16 type of video card, if I remember. Put that on my static shielded bag. Now the rest should be pretty easy to disconnect. Okay. This seems to be the system fan, or no, that's front USB. Huh, so that's where the front USB thing connects to. Okay. Couldn't remember it. But all these cables will get kind of messy. I shouldn't do that. Be very, very gentle. Because I don't want to damage anything, of course. Let's see. This can stay, because that's a case fan. I think that's a 90mm fan or something, but... Yep, that's got to be a 90. Okay, there's the RAM. This is the only SATA thing I got, or IDE thing I got. So this. This is my CD writer's IDE cable. This is an 80-pin cable. You can tell the 80 pins apart from the 40s because it's really fine. The 40s are coarse. The difference between the 40 and the floppy is the floppy's got a twist in it. And you might be wondering what this odd white spot here. This indicates where pin 1 is. Which I think would be this pin right here in the bottom corner here. I would have to say that would be pin 1. Although it's got these null spots to make it easier to ensure you get it in there in the right direction, if you know what I mean. So I can sell this IDE cable with the CD writer at the same time, so that way it's a complete kit. Of course, the only thing missing would be mounting screws, but that's a different subject. Any basic computer hardware store should have mounting screws available, so they're at least relatively cheap. These little tiny screws are mounting screws. See the fine thread and the small size that they are? Barely even a 1/4 inch tall, or maybe 3/8. They're pretty small. And of course, they usually have a Phillips head, although I think some of them might be the regular. But yep, they come in, as long as it's a fine thread screw, and should otherwise work fine. Oh boy, another stubborn one. Alright, what's going on here? And it figures it's raining again. I need the screwdriver, because I got more mounting screws to get rid of. Of course, these are more of a combination. They're both Phillips and regular. See, this is a combination screw head. It's both Phillips and regular. And now, let's see, how did this case work? Okay, but I need to open up the other side of the case too to get that. Oh boy. How are you in there so good like that? Pulling straight out. Not pulling on the wires. And yet, it's stubborn and won't come out. But if I can't get it disconnected, then it's otherwise a useless item, and it's just going to sit there and do nothing. Well, I'll come back to that one for now. This one I know has a locking mechanism. That's interesting, barely even came out. Let's see. Yep, that's the 24-pin connector. This is the main power for the motherboard. Of course, they do have this extra offset here because some motherboards are 20 and some are 24. Mine just happens to be a 24, and my replacement also happens to be a 24, so that'll work just fine. course, this is for all the case stuff. Now I just need to remember which of these is which. So I'll just use basic logic to figure this out. Okay, that's a plus there. So it seems like the colored one is positive. Let me check with other sources to verify. Colored one is positive. Let's see, what one's this? That's in the front. Okay, that's positive. Yep, the colored one has to be the positive. Because 4 out of 4 cases leads to that. You don't want to get positive and negative mixed up, you know. It's not a good thing. So, of course, this one's an oddball. One's lighter than the other. Or is that just the lighting? Nope, it's the lighting. Okay, so in this case, the arrow points to the positive. Gotta remember that. That's the reset switch. I want to mark some notes on this. Okay, that way I can distinguish the positive and negative apart. Just use some random scrap paper for that. This is a SATA cable, or at least the connector to one of them. Of course, I could use a different cable, and I've got a few SATA cables lying around. I only need to disconnect the part from the motherboard, not that. Okay, these are both SATA cables. These straight ones are much easier to work with. Notice how it doesn't have that L shape or right angle at the end. This makes these a lot easier to work with, although there are exceptions to that. Rare exceptions. So I guess I'll go after the RAM next. To disconnect the RAM, all you need to do is pull these off in both directions, and it just automatically pops out. This is RAM. This is DDR2 RAM though, which means with my new motherboard, which is DDR3, I won't be able to use this, and thus, otherwise being an otherwise useless item for me now, SELL. Pretty handy, you know. Let's see, I need to move this so I have space. And I repeat the same procedure with this RAM, because I got to get the motherboard out of here, but to do that I got to disconnect everything. This spot right here is for the CPU fan. This is for the CPU fan. Without this, your computer will overheat real fast. So you'll definitely need the CPU fan for that. And let's see. I don't remember how these pins went in too well. And these pins are stubborn to use. Considering the limited space here. Should just come right off. This is the fan. Or at least a dedicated fan I had beforehand. Except this is an LGA 775 based fan and thus likely wouldn't work too well. This gray stuff is thermal grease. Got a good close up.
Okay.
Okay. This silver part here is actually a heat sink. It's got a lot of surface area, so there's plenty of room for heat to dissipate from it. Good close-up.
Mm-hmm.
These are, as far as I'm aware, not static sensitive, so not as critical anyway. The processor can stay in there, in that motherboard. Let's see, what else do I need to disconnect besides these? I already took the notes. This is all stuff for the case, because otherwise the power button, the reset switch, and all that stuff won't work at all. Let's see. Oh, actually, I could keep the RAM in there now that I think about it. Because this RAM I can't use in my new computer, so I might as well just reinsert it. Oh, yeah, it is okay. It is the right way. Is it right? Yeah, okay, it is. Okay. Let's see. Because it can only go in one way, because if I have it in reverse, like this, see this odd hole right here? It otherwise isn't going to line up if it's not in there right. It'll be off some. So you can only get it in one way, which really makes things so much easier. Especially for the non-professionals. But since I can't use that RAM, you know, might as well. Could probably remount the fan, but that'll just keep separate, at least for now. And as far as I can tell, that's otherwise everything. Ooh. This is the plug-in for the CPU itself. Do you note the locking mechanism?
Mm-hmm.
Stay. This is separate. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So now I want to get. Well, I still got to dismount that. Yeah, get that out of the way. Still need to flip this thing around. Yep, I need to flip this thing upside down so I can... Because I got screws on the back end here that I've got to get disconnected. Because I have mounting screws in the motherboard. The power supply can stay, so I'll just leave that alone for now. This panel can go pretty much anywhere for now. And let's see here. Didn't this come off? No, it didn't. Huh. Okay. How did I do that before? Okay, which side is it? That's where... Oh, that's why. Wrong section. These mounting screws right here. And boy, this one's a little tight. It's got a lot of friction. Okay. Let's see, that's 7 mounting screws right there. So at least that's now available, so my CD writer can just pop right out. What? Funny? Oh. Let's see. Yep, I need to go reverse the flip. And CD writer's right here. And now I gotta fight this stupid power cable right here. Alright. It's nothing holding it. So what gives? Or, yeah, maybe it went in. Yep, okay, that's why it goes in that way. But there's no locking on this one. So, yeah, boy, sometimes these things are so stubborn. Yeah, this is the basic power connector to many things. Or at least to that CD writer, but they're used for other things too. But now this thing is free and clear, so... Ow. Yep, this is my old CD writer. This is the back of the same CD writer. This is the jumper cable to let it so that it's on the master, because there's also a slave too. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is, but I know master is like number 1 or something. It's like primary, slave is secondary or something. So, in that case, I could just put my new this thing in right away, I guess. Yeah, it's a SATA power though. Okay, it would have to go in like this. Warranty void if unsealed. Alright, now what? There it goes. Line up the holes. Okay, there's that. Now I just need to put some mounting screws on and it's good. Okay, where did I put the screwdriver at? Thanks. Oops. Reverse. Don't want to screw it on too tight. Okay. Yep, that should be that. Of course, there is the opposing side, but I can get that a little later. It's not critical at the moment. I still got the motherboard to yank out of here yet. And to do that, I need to get rid of some screws. Okay, here's a screw here. These are motherboard screws, which are seem to be a little coarser threaded. I might still be able to use these in a different way, but I'll see if that new motherboard comes with screws. Likely does, but you never know. Okay, there should be a total. Okay, I'm gonna look for every single screw and see another one here. Okay, one last screw that I can see at least. Okay, this should be nice and loose now. Oh yes, yep, very loose.